Hello, everyone. Welcome to Activate in our session on Smart Rank, ranking browse navigation elements to improve engagement and conversion. I am Eric Redman, Head of Fusion Product Strategy.
And I'm Phil Ryan, VP of Field Engineering at Lucidworks. So field engineering is chartered with developing solutions on top of the Fusion platform that help maximize the value that our customers get from Fusion. And SmartRank is one example of that.
Okay, Smart Rank components. Phil, why is this called Smart Rank? What's being ranked and why is it smart?
Yeah, so when we talk about SmartRank, we're typically talking about the browse experience. So there are elements of the browse experience that tend to be more or potentially less important to specific users in different areas of the site or different segments of users. So among those elements, I mean, some obviously there's product order, which is one of those, and which products are visible above the fold is obviously important. An example of that is in the apparel space, for instance. If you're interested in jackets and you navigate to that section of the site, the products you care about if you are from Maine or living in Maine are probably going to be different than the products you're most interested in if you live in Arizona, say, or Florida. But it goes beyond product order. What about the navigation elements that are most important? What about facets? Which ones are most useful as filters in this context? What about the facet values inside those given facets? So there are a number of these different elements, and SmartRank takes advantage of user behavior data and dynamically adjusts so that the most important elements get the best visibility. So in the case we have here, there's lots of options for how to refine a list of refrigerators. SmartRank looks at the experience and the behavior of customers in this space, and then based on that behavior, promotes those elements of the browse experience that are most relevant to the category, or more importantly, which ones will be most useful in contributing to engagement and conversion.
Hey, Phil, I have a quick question here. So you said that it would be based on user behavior, but it could be that there's some potentially useful navigation elements that just get buried or aren't even shown. So what happens there? How do they get visibility?
That's a great question. So one of the things that we do when we're determining which pieces of the experience should be promoted is we look at the data. And based on the data, there are, and by the data, I mean the catalog itself. Based on the catalog, there are elements in the catalog that would potentially be opportunities for refinement. And so what SmartRank does is it starts with that list of, based on the catalog, these are some candidate facets, for instance, or navigation elements that might be appropriate. And then it presents those, compares those against the user behavior data to determine which of those should be selected and which ones, and in what order they should be selected. But it doesn't stop there. That data in the catalog itself is still referenced on an ongoing basis to ensure that user behavior elements, for instance, don't starve. So they get another chance, for instance, to be presented in front of a given user in a given context.
Okay. All right. Cool. That makes sense.
So there's two pieces to SmartRank, and we just talked about ordering of browse elements and that component of the rank. The other piece is really around the notion of SEO ranking. And this is the category augmentation space. So what category augmentation does is it targets sparsely populated category pages, and it essentially builds out those pages by augmenting the results using vector search. This would not only potentially increase the conversion on that page, but it also makes that page more interesting from an SEO perspective. So by way of example, what we're looking at here is it's a Lowe's site, and it's a specific landing page associated with power tools, accessories. And there's this option to go to dust collection. Now, dust collection in this context if you were to click on that link, would take you to this very specific definition of dust collection. In this case, it's a couple of dust collection bags. There's a good chance that the user has potentially a broader idea in mind when it comes to dust collection. In the context of power tools, there's a lot of things that you might be thinking of as dust collection, and that would be things like vacuums and filters and
Right.
vacuum systems, all of those things that you might be interested in the context of, say, woodworking and dust collection. So what SmartRank does is it uses semantic vector search to identify other products that occupy the same vector space as the category, and then it augments the category with that content. So that content can be either, as we're looking at here, you may also like section or a recommendation section, or potentially we could list it as part of the category products themselves.
Got it. Yeah, I would have myself assumed a broader definition of dust collection. Certainly some of those products shown below.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm thinking about what you've shown us so far, Phil. And my question is about motivation. So I see that there are sites that are already doing this. When I look at Lululemon's site, I've noticed that they seem to be, I'm not sure how it's accomplished. I haven't spoken with anyone there about the details of this, but if you look at these tops categories, align, swiftly, love, when you drill into one, let's pretend we've clicked through to align, you see the left navigation. Nothing surprising there, very helpful navigation aids to get to the align tops that someone may be interested in. But now let's have a look at the swiftly category. And hey, it's all, it's different. So what's going on here? Well, I imagine they're different because Lululemon found this navigation approach for swiftly to be more effective in that category, meaning leading to engagement and conversion, than the left navigation elements that were shown for align. The same thing there, that those navigation elements for align were best for align. So it looks like, and by the way, Phil, I could give you plenty of other examples of other sites that seem to be tackling this issue. So SmartRank, what's the motivation? People are already doing this. Why do they need SmartRank?
Yeah, so great question. And yeah, you're right. People are already doing this, and that underscores really the value of this concept of different elements of the browse experience being important to drive conversion. So there's a couple of things that SmartRank does that I think are worth calling out that make this a step forward. And the first one is that often these sites, and we don't know how Lulu is doing it here, but often these sites are responding to the data that they've seen and manually curating the order of these elements. SmartRank doesn't require that step. So what SmartRank does is it looks at the user behavior, and then based on the behavior of either the users as a whole or some segment of the behavior of the users, it will drive this order automatically. So this process is an automated process. It's not a manual one. That's one of the smart components to SmartRank. The second thing that I alluded to a minute ago is that SmartRank adjusts based on user segmentation. So instead of treating all users the same for the Swiftly category based on behavior, for instance, if there's a difference in the behavior of men versus women, or if there's regional differences like I alluded to earlier, those adjustments can be incorporated, or those behaviors at a more granular level can be incorporated into what SmartRank does in terms of ordering. So the two differences really are an automated approach to this ordering and a segmented or a more granular approach to what drives that order.
Got it. And I think it's not just ordering, it's also filtering.
Absolutely.
Right, like which facets? Because I noticed Lululemon is doing that kind of thing too.
Absolutely, that's correct. Okay,
All right.
so I've got a question for you
Okay.
at this stage. So as we have discussed in any number of prior conversations, um, you're you are data driven, and you tend to describe to me how every product feature choice we make is an investment. It's like placing a bet. So my question to you is, SmartRank, why did we invest here?
Yeah. Why make this bet? And why focus on browse too? So the way I would put it is, I'm challenging conventional wisdom. And the conventional wisdom, as we have heard over the years, is focus on search, because even though search is a smaller percentage of the overall traffic to an e-commerce site, shoppers, when they search, convert at a much higher rate. And here numbers vary a little bit over the years, but it's like search shoppers convert at twice the rate of browse shoppers. Um, but well, wait a minute. Why? What if these browse shoppers are frustrated by the navigation experience, and that leads them to search, or at least some of them may be headed that way? And we can find a number of surveys and research about this issue, including this one in 2020 that Neil Patel's survey showed that 60% of users actually prefer navigation over search to find what they're looking for. But it can just be a frustrating experience because you don't find the navigation aids to get to what you're looking for very easily. And so this coming back around to the conventional wisdom, it feels to me a little bit like survivor bias. We say, well, they're succeeding or converting at a higher rate with search. Let's focus there. I'm saying, let's turn our attention to the larger chunk of traffic and figuring out how we can make an improvement there. That's a bigger target. We've got more opportunity. Well, that's the end of our prepared part of this session. Please join us in the live Q&A follow-up, and we'll see you over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.